Greetings, my friends and followers. Please, if you like the vibe, join your tribe. Hit that subscription button. Hit the bell so you are notified when new things come. I don't do it every day because I want it to be essential when I propagate or bring or transmit something that is for you. So, every now and then you hear the Star Council report, but this is now a report about the Bigfoot. I thought I was prepared. I thought I knew something or had somewhat of an idea. I'm a firm believer in Bigfoot. From what I heard in patterns and people's experience, believe that race probably came here 60 million years ago. Some of them speak all of our languages. They're smart, they're telepathic, they're telempathic. If you're planning on seeing them 100 to 200 miles range, they can detect your intent going towards their territory. They know when you're coming. So they are equipped to cloak and disguise. So major rules that I have learned from several trackers that have 40 years and more experience, people that were even patched up and healed after a head injury, and a female comes with ointment and takes care of them and the head injury is healed. There's a book called Dweller of Two Planets that explains why these beings can walk two worlds. They can phase in and phase out. It's kind of like two Earths, this ascended version, which is all magical, and a descended one. And in the ascension process, it is said that these two Earths are basically doing this right now. We're here. And when we go phase conjugate, this becomes one Earth. Like a fallen sector and a risen becomes one again. Understanding what the fall means as in fall of consciousness. So So I will not say so much in the clips that I will show you after this. And in the end, I'll show you what we have captured. Pay attention if while the clips are running, you pick up anything yourself. I'm not marking it. I'm not talking about it. I just let the tapes run and you'll see the experience. What we have found is what I wasn't trained in, that the Bigfoot has markers, meaning uprooted trees. This size, can you imagine, the size of a body, broken off the stump, like twisted off, ripped, and then built teepees up to 10, 15 feet high. Mount Shasta, I've seen snapped trees at 20-foot height, clear snap off, no storm, nothing, just overnight, like freaking toothpicks. What has that height and the power to do that and or uproot trees? So we were shown by my friend Dwayne what a marker looks like when a Bigfoot marks its territory, meaning they uproot trees and they put those trees intertwine, cross section. Some trees are from, like a storm can't do that, from 100 yards over there, tree stump moved 100 yards and then neatly cross sectioned into a bush or a pile of a big teepee. So we know from the professionals, in respect to those in their research, and please continue, that they built these teepees to mark their territory. And sometimes you find an X where the trees are laying like this. It's kind of marking the spot to like stay out of my territory if you don't know me. Some people, such as this person Brad we're about to meet for a brief moment, has a relationship with them. And he says, if I'm bringing you up to the territory, they know you're coming. I mean, this sounds to some people so far-fetched, but it's so interesting, plus with the experience that I made. So we're walking into the field. I psychically get impressions. So I would see a Sasquatch in my mind observing me, but I can't see him up close. So I have a feeling, we must be in a radius of 200-300 feet, but I can't see. We were in this birch forest, which is super, super dense. You can't really look through it. And even if somebody or something observes you or something is moving, you can't really tell what it is. We know up there it's bears and wolves. Mind you, Brad carries, the 4-pound not for gun's sake. To make that clear, I don't propagate war and guns. I don't like to do that, but if you see it, he has that in the woods. If you have black bears or brown bears and wolves, and there are wolf packs, this can be dangerous as an individual if you do your own explorative things and you don't have no defense. That can be your life. So he has that for self-defense in the woods in case he has an encounter with a wild animal that is out of his control, and it's about his life, which is understandable. So a professional hunter, and he's not even hunting, he's more of an observer, and he's protecting himself. He made that very clear. So we are in the woods, walking in. My good friend Eric, Awakening Man, if you want to find him online, who always researches those topics in depth, is in the woods. And as he's climbing forward, going through the debris, and I hear him say, wow. And then I hear something like that. But, I can't even mimic this. This was so deep that I could feel like a vibration in my heart, like this, like boop, 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 boop. It was almost like subsonic or ultrasonic. It was that deep. And mind you, I'm a sound engineer. We kept the camera rolling because in these events, you don't know. So have a terabyte chip and keep the thing running, and have battery packs with you. That's the best way to capture. Otherwise, you miss your chance. So what we missed on the way in, and we still have to actually check that, the dude watched us driving into the park, Ashley Park, somewhere in Utah, near Vernal. This entire park is Bigfoot territory. You find markers all over the place, and I'll show pictures and examples for you to look at that. Trees piled up, uprooted. Even, when a storm breaks a tree, the tree actually breaks from the root and lays with the stump. Now imagine a tree uprooted, removed from the tree stump, and then upside down, piled into a teepee. No human has the capacity, and not even a bodybuilder, to lift trees that I have seen. That's unbelievable. At first glance, you don't really pay attention. You think, maybe some teenagers had some fun there. You need a crane and a group of 10 to 15 people to see the things that I have seen in the woods. And it's all over the place. So from now on, when I'm in the woods, I will pay attention to these markers and sit and listen and wait. So there are certain areas where what you do is, if you want to observe, you go into the paranormal sector, which is all around me, and then you wait for things to occur. I don't have long clips because I don't want to waste your time with sensationalism and repetitive stuff where there's nothing. I want you to see the essence of what that looks like if you have an experience. I wasn't even prepared. We just kept the camera running, deadpanned, and Eric Scroll all of a sudden screams, "Did you hear that? Did you hear that?" And we all heard it. We all witnessed this gurgling. I don't know what you want to call it. It's like a growling, but always like also a vibration. It was that loud and then intense that you have to be a big figure, very tall, very heavy, to even resonate in that frequency. So as a trained sound engineer, I also show you how I dissect from where the occurrence happens and where I can see in the equalizer the slightest detections, and we have good microphones. And if it's just a little, like you almost can't hear it, you see something from the flat line when there's no sound to the average sound when there is something popping up. And I'm amplifying that, and with the equalizer take the mid and high tones out, where where the fabric like this, and the pans and the talking and the mumbling of the people, it's disturbing because we're not trained to, okay, now's the sound. Interestingly, at one point Eric says, "Wow," and that's like is the signature. Okay, it's coming in. One, we have two sounds. I heard him 3 times. They say they heard him 4 times. We recorded him, or more, depending. And my psychic impression was like he's kind of walking around us. He's checking us out, and he's kind of greeting us. It felt friendly. So in my mind, I can see a male, young male. I don't know what their age group is, but it felt like our age. It would be like in his mid-late 30s, mature male. And he was checking us out, and he was curious. And sometimes they knock. I heard that when I hiked Fay Canyon in Sedona, I would knock with a piece of wood, and then somewhere on the other side, a few trees, but I couldn't really see much, and I would hear like a distinct knock. No human, no hiking path. It's miles over the mountain, but I could hear it. So I would answer, and it would answer me back. Interestingly, with the ships, we do that with lasers. So we felt the dude was around us. I felt a peaceful presence. On the way in, the tracker said we missed him because he was already expecting us, and there was this huge boulder on the way into the park where apparently the dude was standing there and checking us out on the way in. See, we were not trained trackers like that. See, trackers know elk poop, moose poop, deer poop, rabbit, wolf, bear poop. So they know the tracks, the animals, and you know what they leave behind. He also knows sasquatch poop, which is like, he knows what berries they're into, what they eat, what all the animals are not into. Like, this is 40 years of experience, mind you, just observation. And the guy had encounters where they approached him, they became physical. So the major rules that you have to know is this: they can be invisible, they can cloak, they can stand in close distance and blend in, you don't see them. So kind of like predator, they can bend light. They have the capacity with their brain to go into a mental state of phase conjugate. And that means in resonance at a very high light spectrum where you get not able to perceive that anymore. You know, like the hummingbird that flaps his wings as fast as an insect. You can't see the wings because he's past the frequency level of your shutter speed with your eyes seeing that. Well, the Sasquatch somehow has the ability to work around you so you won't hear or see him, not even smell him. So all it has to do with basing it on frequency and where your 5 known senses are. If you're in a psychic state, you'll see them all the time. If you do medicinal plants, you'll see them because they can't cloak in the mystical state when your brain is in gamma and the 2 hemispheres are actually synchronized. You see ships, you see Sasquatch, elves, mermaids, all of the invisible folks that regular minds can see. Has to do with, if you're not trained in high levels of consciousness, you can't hear ultrasound, subsounds, and you can't see in the infrared light spectrum. If you train your senses, your eyes have receptor sites that are dormant, and they know this, that babies can for the first 3 to 4 years. Humans can, it can be relearned. Also, when you can't see with the eyes, you can see with your cells. That's called extraocular vision. And it's controlled by the midbrain. That's all science. So there's nothing so metaphysical about what I'm telling you. So I'm about to show you a few markers and sequences and sound analysis, how we heard what we heard and how I make it more brighter that you can actually hear what I'm talking about. But most of you that are sensitive enough and that are into the topic, you'll hear the sound as I'm playing the normal file. And you'll witness for the first time from the Arcturian Starseed Ambassador and Star Council representative, Commander Ra, my Bigfoot encounter. And in the flick, you'll see Dwayne from the Blind Frog Ranch. You'll see Jeff. You'll see Brad, who we're interviewing, and Eric walking in and around. So have fun and enjoy. And I make it as, valuable as possible. And in the next episode, we have activity in the Utah Basin, Blind Frog Ranch, sightings, triangular craft, $6,000 night vision devices with super grips and 3 axes and whatnot, and we got it on tape. So after this show, expect another one to blow your mind. And this is when it gets real. Like I said, experience is when you go there and when you go with people who know what they're doing, then you make an experience. And this time we can go to places where the experience to a certain degree can be guaranteed. So all I say, be there or be square. I see you most certainly on the flip side. Stay blessed, stay peaceful, observe and learn, expand your mind. This is Commander Ra.
Say that's always a sign of where what they're calling Bigfoot likes to hang out. I'm just saying.
Okay, gotcha.
And so if you look at all those logs going through there.
So that's a Bigfoot marker.
Oh, I just now
So we have an original Bigfoot marker.
Wow.
See, this is all here.
Wow.
See how they put these trees? That's how they mark their territory.
Yes, that's awesome. I didn't even see that.
So that's on the property. So now you see.
You're exactly right, Wayne.
I'm just saying.
Around.
And whenever they said that we were at the end of the beaver pond, and they said they was pretty sure that there would be a marker and or what they call a trap. They, Yeah. So
Okay. An elk doesn't do this, and it needs some force. Tree break. I've seen bigger breaks, which I've recorded in Mount Shasta.
Eyes on the ground, you can look for any kind of print.
20 feet in the air, chopped like toothpicks, and the size of that tree is no man. Interesting. I heard something weird from over there. That also, but it was something in between. But it's so dense that I can't make what's to see or not to see. Our marker coming up. I may not expect to have that extra on a tour. I could make an entire movie. Well, I'll chop that into little segments.
Would I upset them because is this a place they would come back every night, or
If they don't
got
see
many
you
of
as a
them?
threat, they're not going to bother you. They'll come in. I tell people they are watching us. Okay? So they'll come in and they won't be showing their eyes, stuff like that. But sometimes they will show their eyes. Red eyes, or they're not happy. Then the kind of yellowish, greenish, amber color, they're scanning you, they're checking you out. And then the bright white eyes is they're good with you. Sometimes they show their eyes, sometimes they don't. But there's other structures through here.
Hey, Brad, this book here, what is it?
But you didn't see that.
Oh, I've lost it. That's elk.
Oh, elk.
Elk
You
are
can tell
dead.
just by looking
All
at
right, okay.
I want to find the structures. That's why
This is a marker. In Sasquatch territory. What's the guy's name?
Brad.
So Brad is the professional who knows.
No, just the communication.
Oh, okay.
This one would be like, this one wasn't the adults. This was the
Juvenile.
adolescents. You know, like 8 or 10-year-olds our age.
What would you guesstimate the size might be of an adolescent?
How tall are you?
6'5".
Yeah, that's about where they're at.
Okay. So they're not obviously when they're in there, they're not trying to get completely covered.
No, this is just their.
It's a little hangout.
Well, look at it this way. When we're growing up, we do the same things our parents do. So they're doing the same thing as their parents, except not as big and as intricate. So there's more stuff all through here. Oh, and I gotta tell you this. You know what was coming up and dropping down into the rocks?
Yeah.
Did you see the one standing there on the left?
The structure?
No, the Sasquatch.
When we were driving in?
Yeah,
I didn't, but I recorded the drive in, so I'll look back and watch on my video.
on the left-hand side, there's a
Just
big
as we're
rock there.
coming into this?
No, it's just coming up. After we went past that red fleet, he was dropping down by those big rock formations. There was one standing there.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So this whole area. Now I've gone this way.
When we leave, are we going back down the same
Can we
way?
go down?
Or is there another way we can go down?
I wouldn't take you down.
So when we go back down the same way, just kind of point to that area where you said you saw it, so I can.
You guys aren't camping up here?
That's nice.
Okay. Here's the structure that I haven't seen yet.
Eric, when you're ready to come back here, I want to go. Well, I'd come tomorrow night, but you got to go back there. Yeah.
Here you go. Base of the tree up,
Yeah.
and it's an X. See the X?
Yeah.
Now I haven't seen that one before.
This obviously hasn't come out of the ground here either. This is, wow, this is legit right here, no doubt about it.
Here's the ground structure right here.
So what did they use the X's for?
Stay out.
Okay.
Hold on, did you hear that? Did you hear that?
What'd you hear?
I heard it.
here to the right.
Yep. He's here.
God, I heard
Yeah, listen for the low gruntle sound.
Well, I hear it. I hear it.
I just heard it too. I'm deaf in my left ear, so. You guys hang here. I'm gonna go do a knock.
one right here.
I heard him.
Structure right here.
I heard him as clear as day. I heard it, Eric. From this direction.
Look at this one bent over here.
So this is a birch forest. And that is my first time being in sasquatch territory. So we had one observing on the way in, which unfortunately I didn't catch. Standing next to a rock as we're driving into the park. I'm like, I was always into it, but not fanatically, but right now I'm like a little bit stunned. Even though with my own paranormal experience, wow.
Brad, where are you?
He's doing a knock so they can answer. I see something in there, but I can't make it. It's moving now, it's sitting still. So another
Yeah, it looks like it's
unnatural formation
Yeah, look, you can see it locked in here,
we
locked
found.
in there. This is legit right
Locked
here.
in right
So
here.
somebody, you have to be strong.
Right
Look
here
at the,
too. Look at this.
Yeah, look at it. I mean, yeah, you're right. Look at how thick this is. You would have to be so strong
Yeah.
to be
To
able
bend-
to bend this puppy over like that
Yeah.
and to hold it in place while you lock it in.
yeah, this is locked in.
Look
So
at over
this
there,
is,
there's a huge X right in there. See it?
this is a marker.
Oh, wow.
Gotta go in there.
And this tree, see, this tree is younger.
Dude, I would think it would take two of us to lean on that end.
Look at the tension that's on that thing.
Yeah.
That's set in place. See, even if a tree would fall, this tree is older, so this was on the ground much longer. Now look at this. Another marker.
This one's even bigger.
So we are in. See, when people look, you have to know Ashley Park in Utah, full of signs. You have to be blind to not see it. And you don't see teenagers
You can see right here. It's
walking around or groups of people chopping trees and marking territory. So this is a big X.
Look,
That's
this
deliberate.
still had to be much alive for it not to be broken there
Yeah.
when he
Well,
bent it over. So
that's
it
twisted.
had to be green as can be when he bent it.
And right over here too.
Yeah, this is probably older. But look at how the trees are caught in between that. This is insane.
Yeah. See how it's interwoven up here?
And here's the thing. See, I grew up in Germany. I've never seen trees in my woods that were bent that way
Yeah.
or X'd. If they fall in the tree line and they lay on the ground.
Right.
This I have never seen.
I'm gonna walk back through.
And then piled up. So we're in territory where it's like, where you go, you find.
Look, this one here, that one's bent in and this one's bent over.
Yeah.
That's what I was telling you.
And then this one on top of that. Wow.
This is like a double bend over. This is very good art here.
So even if the tree
Thanks
was,
for calling me yesterday morning, dude. This was a topper to my summer.
And there's something down here too.
this
on
is the
left. Look at
crown
this.
for my summer.
Look
This
right
is the
down here.
crown jewel for.
Little mini structure.
Yeah, yeah. But the trees that were picked were kind of already like rotting. So they don't pick ultra healthy trees, I see.
There's another one. They like to do this for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is, you see, you have to do this because this was pulled from somewhere. This didn't fall from here.
Exactly.
You have
This
to
was
bring
made.
that here. And this is also burnt wood. and it's put in there. But I've seen bigger structures where on YouTube where it was trees that had the size of a body.
Let's work our way up back. All right. Hold on, did you hear that? Did you hear that?
Check it, I'm playing the sequence now with the growling amplified. So the trees is just a regular shh. Here happens something, and you will see when that happens, I'm just picking up the frequency when this distinctive weirdness comes in here, and then my EQ responds from a bandwidth of mid, low, and mid range. That's where the sounds are. Now pay attention. That's just the tree sound. So I'm a loop and sequence what you're hearing, where it only there it picks up, and this is not a bear and this is not a wolf. We spoke to this professional tracker who knows the animals in the forest, and we know what's going on. So in detail, as you can see, I'm going into where the base is. Just this part here where the dude makes noise, and bring that up, and bring the other disturbing sounds like people walking in the woods. Not here, come on. Bring that down. I don't want to hear that. This is not what we're interested in. So you have to know the parameters of an equalizer and sound and how that travels. This is, I don't know if there's anything. I want to lower that. Just really unnecessary sounds that nobody needs. All the way down. So maybe this a little bit lower. I just want to hear the dude and see where that takes me. Like really bring up the gurgle. Successful, now you can hear him. Check it out. And you can't even imagine how deep this is. This is so deep. I'm playing the entire sequence only with the elevated gurgle. Now check it.
Oh, did you hear that? Did you hear that?
Give you a little narrative. These woods are ideal for cloaking and hiding. We have recorded sound of, I'm feeling a male, and he's in our area. And Brad told us there's a 10% chance that they're around and they're good with people. So he's watching us. So the Sasquatch rule for the eyes, which I've heard now, and I'm highly in resonance with that, even though I'm not experienced in watching these beings. Red means they're angry at you. Amber, like glowing eyes, means they scanning you, like they're feeling your emotional body, your intent and everything. And white eyes is they're good with you. They can, from the other dimension, show their eyes. They don't necessarily have to. They are multidimensional. They can blend, they can also walk out of here. And the reason why I want to believe that is because the natives say the same thing.
There's no stump over here for it to fall from.
Yeah.
Exactly.
In the tip, something was placed in the tip that's not from the same tree. That tree's not there. And this, if this would have been a fall, why is that the back is up and the top is down? And see the way this is stacked? This is marked territory. And you have to be very strong to mark that. So this is artificially placed. This is not fall.
There's another branch right here.
And this is like as if these trees were collected or whatever. So, like very clear. Like you can't,
That one that's coming from
you
the
can't
ground
follow this
straight up,
ideal.
It's got a Y here, and you can see it was placed right between the Y. I'm gonna climb in here for you.
Amazing.
All right. Hold on, did you hear that? Did you hear that?